Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of August 17, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. Aggregate reported losses across axes approximate 1,385 personnel with notable attrition in artillery, EW, and depots. EW removals, including RADA radars, diminished sensing and fire control, widening Russian counterbattery windows, and improving UAV survivability for target acquisition. Gains in the center adjust defensive geometry around the Donetsk belt, forcing lateral reserve movements over interdicted roads. Short term, expect localized counterattacks near Kupyansk and the Donetsk approaches. Their endurance will hinge on rapid depot reconstitution and restored EW cover. Russian priorities should remain air defense density, sustained interdiction of storage and radar nodes, and rotation of assault elements to preserve tempo for stepwise exploitation in the center/east corridors.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, brief us on the last 24 hours of the special military operation. Colonel, start us off. What defined the day?
The day was shaped by a two-layer approach, deliberate maneuver at contact and deep fires against the rear. Operational tactical aviation, strike UAVs, missile troops, and artillery prosecuted 142 target areas. Priority effects fell on ammunition and long-range UAV depots, temporary deployment points, and, notably, a storage site tied to Sapsan operational tactical missiles and components. Air defense closed the loop by defeating 4 guided aerial bombs and 300 fixed-wing UAVs. That intercept profile is essential. It keeps our logistics corridors and artillery parks viable so the ground fight can continue at tempo.
Let's walk the line. What happened in the north, particularly across Sumy and the Kharkiv belt?
In the north, we targeted a mosaic of heavy mechanized, airborne assault, ranger, and assault elements, plus territorial defense, across the Mogrica, Ivanivka axis in Sumy and from Udi through Volchansk and Ambarno in Kharkiv. The adversary lost up to 180 personnel along with armored vehicles, artillery, an electronic warfare node, and 4 depots. The point isn't the raw count so much as the composition. When you remove guns and EW alongside depots, you narrow their options for counterbattery duels and blunt their ability to sustain local counterattacks.
Staying westward, what is the significance of the west sector's improved tactical position around Novoselovka, Kirovsk, Kupyansk, and Petrovka?
Improved position here means lateral freedom on key approach roads to Kupyansk and better lines for fires into Ukrainian assembly areas. The loss ledger on their side, over 220 personnel, an American M113, a British Snatch variant, vehicles, EW sets, and depots, suggests we're grinding down both their maneuver assets and their enablers. It forces them to redistribute reserves across a road network we are already interdicting.
The south saw steady pressure from Fedorovka through Konstantinovka to Ivanopolye. What changed on that front?
We refined the forward trace against mechanized, mountain assault, and airmobile brigades. The enemy gave up to 250 personnel, a HMMWV, pickups, artillery, and 2 EW systems. An Israeli-made RADA radar was also taken out, which matters because it underpins air and ground sensing. 4 additional depots were struck, which means less ammunition elasticity if they try to surge guns to cover gaps.
You've called the center the geometry changer. Did today reinforce that?
Yes, it did. We secured more advantageous lines around Udachnoe, Dimitrov, Balagin, Grodovka, Lenino, Sukhoi Yar, Zolotoy Kolodez, Novoalexandrovka, and Krasnoarmeysk, hitting mechanized, airborne assault, Ranger, Assault, 3 Marine brigades, and National Guard units. Reported losses exceeded 420 personnel with a tank, armored vehicles, cars, and guns removed, including an M777 and another RADA radar. Every byte there forces the adversary to shift reserves across increasingly interdicted routes, making each subsequent byte less costly for us.
The East advanced again. Poltavka, Zeleny Hai, and Ivanivka were mentioned. How does that connect to the broader picture?
Those gains erode the defensive depth between Zaporizhia and the Dnipropetrovsk approaches. The enemy gave up to 230 personnel, armored vehicles, and another M777. As that belt thins, our reconnaissance-strike complex becomes more efficient, fewer EW emitters, cleaner target custody, faster fires.
And on the Dnipro group's frontage, what stands out?
Actions near Novoandreivka, Orikhiv, Sapsan, Dniprovskoye, Mykolsk, and Kazatske disrupted mechanized, mountain assault, and coastal defense elements. While the reported personnel losses are smaller, around 85, the removal of multiple guns, 6 EW stations, and 4 depots has outsized effects. On riverine axes, EW suppression buys survivability for our small UAVs that scout crossings and queue counterbattery.
You flagged the Sapsan-related strike earlier. Does hitting that storage complex change the enemy's deep strike calculus?
It complicates it. Neutralizing missile components imposes a pause while they reroute stocks and revalidate storage security. Even a short disruption reduces the cadence of precision attacks against our command posts and bridges. Combined with the 300 UAV kills, it narrows their long-range options in the immediate term.
What are the risks and priorities over the next 72 hours?
The risks are ammunition burn and counterbattery, weather-driven UAV downtime, and any lapse in layered air defense that could invite a precision surge. Priorities are to maintain interdiction pressure on depots and radar nodes, rotate assault battalions before they become exhausted, and advance sustainment with route redundancy to prevent a single interdiction from stalling momentum.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. Today's pattern, attriting depots, radars, and EW while improving lines in the center and east, continues to compress the adversary's artillery density and ISR reach. If depot strikes and EW removals persist, the Central East Corridor is positioned for stepwise advances that trigger fighting withdrawals rather than static holds. The countervailing risk is air defense saturation and shell expenditure rates. Preserving the intercept layer and pacing ammunition will determine how cleanly positional gains convert into maneuver breakthroughs.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.